Hello everyone, my name is Alejandra and I'm a student of Virginia Tech. And today I'm excited to share this presentation with you about steganography, what it is and why it's important in the digital world we live in. Throughout this presentation, I will be providing information and I hope that it sparks your curiosity to learn more about this incredible technique. Some topics that I will be covering in this video are data hiding, the importance of data hiding, uh, how can we do it, some methods, um, steganography. Uh, as I mentioned before, we're gonna learn about what it is, how can we apply it, and some file system metadata and digital forensics. And finally, I will also discuss briefly the article Time is on my side, Steganography in File System Metadata by Sebastian Neuter and some other colleagues. And I'll be discussing their proposal. So let's start by talking about the importance of hiding data. As the technology in the world keeps advancing, some techniques need to be developed to be able to share or and transmit sensitive information. Let's say, what if we want to send information in a way that no one knows of its existence, or information that does not leave any traces? Maybe we can think some ways in which this can be possible and why this could be important. If we think about it, maybe data embedding can be one way, but how can we achieve this? So let's consider what some other options we have. But also I want us to think about what other things, in what other ways this can be used. Some people, perhaps with malicious intent, could use this for could use this in this technique in a way that would harm other people. So let me go to the next slide. Uh, So yes, let's talk about steganography, what it is. So steganography is a technique that is used to hide data within communication channels or storage media, such as text, audio, video, some images, protocols. In the next slide, I'll give you some examples on how to visualize this a little more. But this technique is perfect to share data that does not leave traces. This data hides in files that no one suspects that could contain important information. Let me go to the next slide. So yes, here we have a picture and a message, right? A message or information, data. So this is an example of steganography. By embedding a secret message within this image, we have successfully applied this technique. So uh, they are different methods for this. As I mentioned before, if I go back, we have audio, we have video images, and just the same, we can hide data, we can hide information inside this. We can manipulate videos, we can manipulate audio, and be able to successfully hide information. Let me go to the next slide. Um, Oh, and I want to also mention that past research on steganography has been conducted exploring hiding communication, timestamps, network traffic, header files, and transmission delays. However, functional implementation remains limited, and this area needs to be, we need more research in this area. Now, let me go to the next slide. Um, and steganography allows information to be transmitted secretly. That's the main idea, without leaving traces or raising suspicious. Some real world scenarios are, if there's an intent to bypass government restrictions, censorship, or this can help whistleblowers leak documents or information. Uh, it also um, it helps on like military operation or for espionage. The use if this information, if important information gets leaked um, during any of these, okay, we also have like uh, they're able to protect corporate data during transmission. Let me go to the next slide. Um, and I'm sorry, going back into this slide, I apologize. As we observed, a steganography can be utilized by hackers to hide information. Therefore, it is important to prioritize research on this area. Before I go to the next slide, I would like to clarify the following. Um, I'm sure many of you are familiar with encryption. Encryption is a process of transforming human readable data into something that is unreadable and can be retrieved only by authorized parties using a cryptographic key. And this protects from authorized access or hackers. Well, that being said, encryption and steganography are not the same. While the purpose of encryption is to protect data by making it unreadable, steganography focuses on hiding its existence. So that's a difference between these two. Um, Now let's talk a little more about uh, what, how can we um, hide this information? Uh, I mentioned before images, text, audio. So file systems is one of them. File systems have a variety of operations beyond that go beyond organization of files, and they define metadata as this additional information about ownership or access permissions and timestamps. There are various file systems such as FAT, uh, NTFS, which those belong to Windows. We have ext4 or BTRFS, that's for Linux, and then HFS, Apple. Each store data in different levels, and this is known as a file system metadata, as I mentioned before. Now, I want you to imagine for a second the possibilities for this technique. What positive and what negative aspects can be exploited. The fact that stenography does not leave traces raises big concerns from a cybersecurity standpoint, and more techniques should be developed for hiding and detection um, of information. So, I would like to talk now about the paper. I would like to discuss briefly this article, Time is on my side, Sonography in File System Metadata. This paper proposes and explores the applicability of file timestamps as a stenographic channel. In this article, an information gap has been identified in motor operating systems, excuse me, using high precision timers, and the authors proposed a stenographic design that is stealthy, robust, and widely applicable. Um, the design has been evaluated throughout theoretical, um, evidence-based, and experimental analysis with millions of files on NTFS, which is the New Technology File System. As proof of concept implementation was reported showing that hidden data is indistinguishable from normal system use. And they also discuss forensics implications of this new design. Going into the next slide, uh, I would like to also mention that this paper proposes and explores the applicability in file systems timespans as a stenographic channel, and that the following are the contributions that they made. They in the document. This is in the document. It says that they analyze modern file system timestamps in detail and the steganography applications. Also, they propose the use of timespans to hide information in new technology file system and other file systems. They describe a design and implement a proof of concept to securely hide data on NTFS, and they validate the system using a real-world and synthetic data sets showing that the embedded steganographic, information is indistinguishable from normal systems. Um, discussed. They also discussed digital forensics implications for this new design that they proposed. I highly suggest that you um, check this article because it offers a lot of information about this. They went and they spoke about uh, specifically um, about how this technique can be implemented and and the reasons why it needs more research on this area. Um, if anyone's interested in this topic, I highly suggest read this article. Um, let me go back, please. I would like to talk a little bit more about